Silence! It's time! It's time! It's
time for another episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back to the back of the back of the grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 217 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler, I am doing fantastic. Going after another work week. Pretty much like busting my ass, taking names, just kind of the usual stuff that I do. But other than that, I'm doing fucking fantastic. How are you?
Oh, you know, man, just clanging and banging. As always. No, it's fun to be back. We mentioned it last week in a pre-recorded message that we broke up a show from a couple weeks ago with Justin in the two parts. Give Gables and I a week, well-deserved, I think, week off from recording the show.
Yeah.
I think there was we released 8 episodes in the month of June.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do a time thing, but it's probably in the 6-hour range or so of recording. So figured, well-deserved. We only get really a couple weeks off a year from recording, like usually game of the year time, late December, early June, or early January, and then around E3. So once every 6 months, so it kind of works out. But it's funny that we get that week off or whatever, and I miss the show every single time. Like that weekend comes, I'm just like, man, I kind of want to record right now. It's like
I know. I literally had that moment last Saturday too, where it's like, hey, something just feels wrong.
Yeah,
something's just missing. It's like, oh hey, I don't have to record tonight. Let's see what's on the PlayStation. It's like, yep, I got to play Wildlands again.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a weird thing. It's just like, I love doing the show and everything. We keep doing it. We love doing it, but it's like we get that week off. Like, oh, thank God. We get you've been doing it every weekend or whatever, or every week. It's just like, okay, cool. Don't have to edit a show on my Sunday, editing a show or things like that. It's working on a time for people to get together. It's just like, one less thing to worry about this week. And it's just like, then the time comes, it's like, it's 9 o'clock. We record 9 o'clock usually on Saturdays, my time, Central Time. And it's like, it's 9 o'clock. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do. But it was nice having the weekend off, do other shit. But it's good to be back doing the show. And normally when we take a week off in June, it works out because there's it's always after E3, and no news, no games coming out. But this year has been 2017 has thrown all the rules of gaming out the window. Not so much on the news front. There's a couple big things that have been happening over the last couple weeks, but
surprisingly so too.
Yeah, but as far especially post E3, usually you just nothing. It's just kind of usually that late June and most of July is just like nothing for video games, video game releases and news wise. But we got a couple of big games coming out in the past couple weeks. I think we should just jump on into that if you're ready.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm ready.
Cool. So big thing. I think we'll just start off. Do you want to just talk about ARMS right off the bat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start it off with let's start it up just with arms blazing.
Yeah. So it came out actually I think the day we recorded, I think the last time we recorded was like June 17th, and it came out on the 16th. So it had been out 24 hours when we recorded, and it was actually kind of cool. Justin came over that day, and when we recorded, he actually we played against each other a bunch, played online a lot, but it was actually kind of cool thing we did. Justin set up his Switch, and put it on the table, and he played with the motion with the what those fucking things called? Not the motion
Joy
control.
Cons.
Joy Cons. Thank you. He played with those things, and he put the Switch on my table, and I was playing on my TV, which is really stupid. But it's, I have a 60-inch TV right here, and he's playing on his little Switch handheld. So we played a bunch that way, and kind of a cool thing we realized that you can do is actually you go into like a party mode where you just join a random lobby and you just play random game modes. You can actually join friends. Like, you can go on and look up friends and see if your friends are online playing ARMS, and if they're in a lobby, you can just join that lobby.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool thing that they have there. I thought before we jump, before we talk about the gameplay and all that stuff, I thought it was kind of a cool experience when Justin and I realized that. And I played it. I think last weekend I was playing it for a little bit online, just hopping and played a few matches, and Justin just randomly hopped into the lobby. We didn't get to face each other at all, unfortunately, but we did play. It's kind of cool just playing in the lobby and see how he's doing, see how I'm doing.
Right.
But jumping into the main gameplay portion of it, it's kind of more. It's what we thought. We talked about a few weeks ago, about a month ago actually, with Test Punch. A few more characters than what was in the Test Punch. A few new maps. But for the most part, the gameplay is about the same. There's a Grand Prix mode that you can go in and jump into. You go through 10 rounds. You can put on, there's difficulty levels 1 through 7. If you beat rank 4 or higher, you can actually jump in and do ranked mode, where you play like the best of the best people for online, and it's single battle, single best of 3 battles. There's no 2v2, nothing like that. It's just all 1-on-1, mono. And I don't think there's any like potions that come out or anything like that. I think it's just a straight up fight. Then there's there's the party mode, which is like the online portion where you just get into random matches. You can do 2v2, 1v1, triple threats, fatal 4-ways or whatever. Kind of like what we talked about with the test punch. And then there's like this one thing where the way you unlock arms for your characters. I can't remember what it's called, but you earn coins the more you play. More you win, you get more. Like if you beat somebody online, you get 3 coins. If you lose, every time you lose, you get at least a coin. So the minimum you get every time you play a match is 1 coin, and you can earn coins and you can use those to get into like a target mode, and you go through and you can hit targets, get a high score, and then throughout the game you can hit you punch, you swing, you try to punch like gift boxes, and you unlock arms that way. So it's kind of the main thing you do in ARMS. But obviously the key thing is the gameplay. I'm kind of curious. A couple weeks out, I think we liked it quite a bit initially with Test Punch. But are you still liking it now that you get the full game in your hand, in your arms?
Yes, I actually feel that the game is good. I feel that the gameplay is good in terms of what I felt that it was going to be. I do like the fast-paced nature of it. I do like the different characters, the personalities, the different types of quote-unquote arms that they are presented with. But what I really enjoyed the most was just mixing and matching like specific type of strategies with the different types of arms. Because before you even enter into a match, you can actually have the chance to look at your opponent and see what they are equipping for that match inside Grand Prix and stuff like that. So I've used that quite a few times to just switch up a few things in case one round just didn't work for me, like going all heavy and certain like that. But what I've discovered, there's like a couple different types of arms. You have the standard punch, the standard like boxing gloves. You have sort of like a spread missile. There are some that do homing things and stuff. And then you have the heavy type of like... you have the heavy type of arms and stuff that basically negate... they pretty much negate like sort of like regular punches and this and that in order to focus more on a close combat sort of way.
Yeah, because you can... kind of a thing you could do in the game is like... someone tries to hit you, you can actually block their punch with your punch.
Yep.
And if you have like... if you're a big heavy guy and you're fighting like a smaller person, or they have smaller gloves, if you have you can actually, if say you're a bigger guy and you swing and they have you're fighting a smaller person, they'll try to block your punch, but you can actually power through it and hit them still, or still swing. And if you're big, and vice versa. So it's a kind of a cool like strategy you can do, and if you're both kind of like same level, you just basically just counteract their punch.
Yeah. What I've also liked about the game ARMS is it does have different types of variations when you go through the Grand Prix mode. You could be doing like a regular match. You could be transported into a mini game, say, where like volleyball or basketball, stuff like that. I mean,
Skill shot.
Yeah, the skill shot things and stuff. I like the breaking up of monotony and stuff. But there's one thing that really kind of like rings true, especially when you get towards the end portions of the game, which, you know what, it's a fighting game. Those of you who probably haven't played ARMS that are listening to this, yeah, you'll find this out eventually, though. But especially when you face off against the character Headlock, which let's just say the difficulty ranges from, okay, hey, this is manageable, to, oh my god, why the hell is this such a high spike?
Yeah.
So what ARMS likes to do, it likes to play akin to some of the classic fighting games from back in the 90s, or even some parts of the early 2000s, where this is kind of like Capcom level shit of difficulty, where basically you could be doing great in sort of an arcade mode, but then you come across an overpowered boss character. And it takes you around an hour or two, it just depends upon what skill that you have, in order to really defeat the last boss. I mean, it's highly possible that the first time through you probably could beat Headlock, like, no problem, but for somebody who's just, like, experimenting with the game and are trying to get used to controls, if you actually go through the standard level, which they highly are suggesting that 4 be the standard in order to go through the game of ARMS, the difficulty goes from, oh, okay, this is manageable, hey, there's a learning curve here, to, oh, okay, I am probably going to be quitting this game after the first playthrough because of how stupidly, overpowered the character is. So to put into perspective, the reasoning why I feel that Headlock is an overpowered character, one, he gains access to about 6 arms, right? Yep. So all of them can be equipped with Max Brass's sort of like moveset. Because, for one, Headlock's that type of character and stuff where he literally is a robot that latches on to head of a fighter and stuff, and he gains access to their arm moves and this and that. So he has, like, I kid you not, like 8 arms or something. He could switch between Max Brass's skill set, which is a regular punch, mallets, this, that, and stuff. So I ended up playing through my first playthrough of Springman. Everything was going all right. I was losing some matches. It was okay. It wasn't, like, bad. It's basically normal difficulty I was going through. Then I hit up against Headlock, and it took me, I kid you not, around a half an hour to possibly, like, 45 minutes in order to try to beat him. I was getting frustrated to the point where it's like, why the fuck? I'm doing everything possible. I am blocking punches, I'm throwing different types of variations and stuff. I basically felt like I got lucky beating him. And I kind of figured you kind of had the same type of difficulties, Tyler.
Yeah, like I went through, so I went straight off, like when I first got the thing, I'm like, oh, okay, level 4 is the medium levels, normal, whatever. I hopped right into that and barely got to like round 3 or 4. It was a struggle. So I'm like, all right, well, I need to take a step back. So I went back. I beat level 1, which is boring. It's like playing 50cc on Mario Kart. Boring.
Yep.
It's just like you're just in first place. There's no real challenge. I think there's a few matches where I didn't get hit at all. And
what, for level 1?
Yeah. It's just
wow.
Like you just jump and grab, and you just do that over again for 10 rounds, and it's over. Level 2, a little harder, but for the most part, I don't think I lost a round. I got hit a few times, but no real threat. And then level 3, I think I might have lost a round or two, but for the most part, I went through that one. Level 4, I kind of the same thing where like I lost a few rounds here and there, but it was definitely, every fight was definitely a challenge. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I went through, I beat them all, and getting the Headlock, it was just like a whole different thing. Like beating what's the guy, Max something?
Max Brass.
Yeah, Max Brass. He's the mayor or whatever the fuck he is. Yeah, I beat him at the end, and it wasn't really super tough. Bit of a challenge. You gotta be smart about it, but you beat him. And you get in the Headlock. Yeah, like he has 6 arms. He has Max Brass's body, but with the Headlock is it's a head. Then he takes control, and he has like I said, 6 arms. And then he has like 2 different types of gloves. Like so on his right side will have three different types of gloves, and his other side will have three different types of gloves. And definitely a challenge. Like the first time I fought him, like it was me just kind of learning what to do, and he destroyed me. Like I didn't win a round. I maybe beat him, got him halfway down in one of those fights. And the second time got a little better, but yeah, he was still destroyed me. And then I think it took me like 3 or 4 tries to beat him. But yeah, I agree. Like it came down to like the third time I fought him, I think I actually won a round, but he still beat me. And then the fourth one, like every single fight came down to like 1 or 2 punches, and there was definitely a lot of luck involved beating him. But yeah, it's definitely a big spike going from Max Brass to him.
To put it in perspective, the way he does damage, he literally takes about a third of your health.
Yeah.
Before you could take like maybe 3 punches from a max, like head on or something like that, before you are just defeated right then and there. And God, if you actually absorb his special or something like that, like say he actually gets his special off, that pretty much takes off the almost most of your life just from doing that shit. You literally got to be on your game when you're facing off against headlock.
Yeah,
but
like you said, he gets a good combo on you. Like, unless you could just like bob and weave and get a bunch of pop shots on him, like, yeah, you ain't gonna recover from that. Like, it's just you gotta have like the best fight of your life to like beat him and like dodge, and like it's really what it is. Just like I played as Ribbon Girl, so she's fast but doesn't do a lot of power or doesn't have a lot of power behind her punches. So it was just I think I think about it. One of the matches, no, there was no time limit. Never mind. But online, there's a couple of matches that came down the time limit. But fighting him, like, it was just like me jump, dive, hit him with a shot, do barely any damage. It was just that and repeat itself for 10 minutes till I finally won. And he's still getting shots on me.
Oh yeah. But my overall impression for the Grand Prix mode for ARMS, now having gone through it out of the 10 fighters, I have gone through the Grand Prix mode 8 times. So with 8 different characters, I only have 2 more left to do, which is I want to play as Kid Cobra and Helix. So what I will say is the Grand Prix is good enough to where I want to go back and continue. There have been fighting games in the past that I've played that have not been that fortunate. I keep thinking back to a game that I played on the N64, which was Fighters Dynasty 2. That one was terrible. I have played through, like, Clay Fighter 63 and a third, which it was a little bit better than that, but it wasn't that good. But what I'm saying is ARMS has a okay Grand Prix mode to where it's replayable. You can go through with different characters and try and stuff. But I will say this, in terms of a completionist stance, this will probably give you fucking nightmares. I am not kidding you. If you go past level 4, the difficulty spikes will be challenging. I mean, not to the extent and stuff where it's just like, oh, okay, this is a little bit of a challenge, this will do this. No, I'm talking about you have to know your character in and out. And the payoff, from what I've been looking and researching online, isn't exactly as rewarding as what you may think for a game of this nature.
Yeah.
I personally have went through and I've watched a video on YouTube by there's a YouTuber by the name of the Completionist, Gerard. Gerard is his name, and he goes through certain games, some games that are given to him by companies, other games that he has in his personal collection. He did one on ARMS around a week or 2 ago, and it kind of reflects some of the same sentiments that we are having right now. I mean, inside of it, from him actually 100% completing it, there actually is nothing you could possibly unlock in terms of going through not only on the highest difficulty level with each fighter, and that's exactly what he did. He played that game, I kid you not, probably like over 60 to 100 hours or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
And he unlocked all the arms for every character, but there is no extra bonus at the end for stuff like that. I would recommend, Tyler, if you want to like have some sort of little viewing or something, check out The Completionist.
Yeah, I'll check that out, sure.
For Gerard and stuff. He's done various other games too. Like he's recently done one for Crash Bandicoot, like the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Okay.
But this Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
He's Pro Jared or Pro Gerard or whatever it is, right?
No.
Different guy. It's a different guy.
No, this is a different guy, but they are a part. Both Pro Jared and Gerard, the completionist, are a part of the same group, along with like Satchel Drake and stuff. Part of Normal Boots.
Okay. Yeah, but I do agree. Like, it seems like you. So you have to, like I think I mentioned earlier, you have to be of level 4 or higher to unlock rank mode, to play rank mode if that's something you're interested in. And there's really no benefit other than earning coins, which you use the coins, like I mentioned, to do the target practice and unlock more arms for your characters. There's no benefit to doing anything higher than 4, other than personal pride.
There is not.
I beat 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 that weekend, the first weekend it came out, and then I actually went, screw it, I'll jump straight to 7, and 7 is no joke. I think I got to the third or fourth round of fighters, and then I gave up on it. But yeah, there's that, and that's kind of it's a great game. Like the fighting is solid. They did a great job on that. Like, I'm not gonna complain about the fighting really at all.
Right.
Like, definitely the headlock portion is kind of can be a pain in the ass, but overall it feels good when you beat them. But really, if you're not gonna get big into the online portion or in unlocking the arms and being the completionist, there's no real benefit or anything to do after that portion. Like, after that part, there's arcade mode you can do, and you can play with your friends and stuff like that, or you can just hop in lobbies and do party mode and play random matches online with people and do rank mode. If you're into that, rank mode's pretty difficult. You're facing really good players at that point, but yeah, there's nothing like to keep making you come back and play this game for hours on end. Go ahead, what you're saying, Gables.
Okay. That's actually also a part of the problem I've had with this game so far. Unless you're playing the Grand Prix, unless you're unlocking different types of arms for the online component, which, you know what, I haven't even touched online playing with arms yet. I don't know how the game handles. I don't know if there's any lag issues or any types of things that normal fighting games have. But as it stands right now, this game, I feel, is bare when it comes to extra content. The single player's there. You can play through all the different fighters, and if not for the personality and the differential fighters, I would not even give this game another go. I would have traded it in the first couple days that I've had it, because if there's no content inside your game, if it was like a Street Fighter V level of bare, where you basically go through the character modes and stuff like that and only spend like maybe 5 or 10 minutes per character inside of like a 20, 30 character roster or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never played Street Fighter V on PS4. But what I'm saying is, content-wise, it kind of reminds me sort of the issues that people had with Street Fighter V. The only difference is, apparently people are enjoying the online portion a little bit more at launch with ARMS.
It's not broken like Street Fighter V was too.
It's not broken like how Street Fighter V was at launch. But how I feel overall with the game itself, I wish personally that this had more content of a single player nature that would get me to go back after playing through with each character. This is a good first game inside the series, don't get me wrong, but if they come out with an ARMS 2, which is a good chance that may happen, considering how popular this game has been at launch, and also how Nintendo, as of late, is starting to delve more into the esports side of things with Splatoon 2, which they are going to be advertising heavy come later on in July. I wish that when ARMS 2 does come out, it's a more robust single-player experience. So I would actually recommend anybody, if they own a Nintendo Switch, if they really want to give ARMS a go, wait until October or November. Wait for a price drop. Do not spend $60. This is not a game you're going to be getting $60 into unless you are a dedicated fighting fan and you are looking for something new and different.
Yeah. Or, you got like people to play with consistently.
Yes.
Those are the key factors with this game. Yeah, I mean, it's something we talked about even before this game came out, like the Test Punch, and before the Test Punch was biggest concern for everybody was just
of course.
Content. And it's true, like the Street Fighter 5 is a good, example where that was the biggest thing with people when that game came out. On one hand, people would bash it because it came out and said we're going to have these things, but they're coming later. But I mean, that game took a big hit because of that. Like, there's bare bones, and this game is bare bones. And for the most part, outside of like they're having some free characters coming out later on this year, a few of them. But there's nothing else coming out for this thing. This is kind of for the most part, this is the game. And I had a pretty good feeling that was going to be it going into it. But yeah, I mean, it feels like a Star Wars Battlefront situation where it's just like they nail the gameplay portion, but there's not a lot to do out. Like, yeah, the gameplay is really good, but you just kind of going to do the same thing over and over again. And that's a fighting game. I understand that, but yeah, I agree with you. It's like I love Injustice 2, but the story mode is what makes me love Injustice 2. And they had some really cool stuff with like the what was that called? But like multiverse. They have some really cool things you can do that to kind of keep you coming back to it. For single player, they realized that people like fighting games. They're popular, but they're not going to hit mainstream like they once did, like 15, 20 years ago. No. And this is a way to in the NetherRealm found a really good way to like keep people coming back to it that aren't big into like the online fighting, especially when that's kind of like the hardcore scene, where it's like it's not like you're playing 8v8 with your friends. You're playing 1v1 usually against a stranger, and for the most part, people play online are really good, and you get your ass whooped.
What I kind of feel, I'm sorry, Tyler. Sorry to interrupt, but here's the thing about fighting games for today. Me being a fan of fighting games for the past, 10, 15 years or something like that, games like Mortal Kombat 9, I feel, have risen the standard of what to expect inside of a fighting game in terms of story mode and in terms of immersiveness that you need inside of a modern fighting game. The reasoning why that games like Injustice 2 and Tekken 7, which I'm hearing great things about Tekken 7, the thing that came out around the same time as fucking ARMS as well, and the fact that people are playing Injustice 2 and Tekken 7 more than just, say, giving maybe a passing glance on ARMS or something like that, is because of how immersed people are inside that story mode. There's more than just a few hours worth of enjoyment and then just going on to something else. And the thing is, because of how expansive some of the nature of the content is, that's how you're locking on gamers to have more than just a few hours of experience. Because they want to get the most bang out of their buck. And if you give like about maybe a 40 to 60 hour experience to a gamer that actually is strapped for cash and they can only afford a few games a year, that's absolutely critical. For a game like ARMS, I feel that, from what the time I've put into this game, I feel it has been worth it because I am a fighting game fan. I love how different and quirky this new IP is, but if I was somebody, say, an average gamer that has bought a Switch and I'm looking for new content, if I bought ARMS and it only lasted me a few hours and stuff, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Not because of like the gameplay wise. I mean, don't get me wrong, ARMS' gameplay is fantastic. I love that gameplay. Content, I want a game that lasts me for a few weeks.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we've been stressing. I think we mentioned it several times, and I want to stress again. Like, the game is great. Like, playing the game is super fun. It's just how fun is it? How many times do you see yourself continuing to do this over and over again before you kind of hit that limit? And I go back to it every few days, and I'll play a Grand Prix mode, or I'll play a few matches, or I'll go online and play it for 20, 30 minutes, and that's kind of like the most for me it is, because I really play. I enjoy playing that game. But it's like I go in and hop into it. It's like, all right, well, I'm done. I played 5 or 6 matches online. I'm kind of good now, and it's just like I kind of want to do something else now. And that's, I think, the most this game's gonna be for me is like I'll pick it up here and there, but it's kind of this is not the kind of game you can just kind of be a casual gamer about. You can do a little bit of party mode somewhat, but definitely people have been getting a lot better. Like that first weekend it came out, like I was kicking people's ass.
Right.
And then I played a lot that weekend, and I didn't play for a couple days, and I jumped back into it, and the tables have turned big time, especially with the ranked mode. Like the ranked mode, I jumped up to damn near level 3 in that. Every time you win, you get up a little. You rank. You earn like not really experience points, but you have a bar that goes up, and I jumped up to like probably 1 or 2 wins away from being rank 3. But every time you lose, you also lose. Your bar goes down, and slowly my bar went back down to like the high level 1 area. So it's definitely gotten a lot tougher. It's like a lot of them aren't even close. Some of those matches online. So it's definitely it's not a casual game you can really get into and want to play somewhat seriously online.
Right.
You gotta kind of be all in on it. So that kind of sucks. It's like I said, like we keep saying, really great game. Just wish there was more things to do in it. Especially like whether it's more, I don't even know if it's more game types. I really don't know what I want more from this game. Like, yeah, great single. Like if there's a single player mode, that'd be kind of cool.
I know what I would like from this game personally. Okay. I would like the character backstories to be fleshed out a little bit more.
They're coming later, they said.
Well, I hope so. I hope so.
But, yeah,
I basically want an equivalent to say how Injustice has done its story mode, to where I can switch off of different characters, have different types of activities, and just basically have that type of fighting game where, hey, I could spend some more time doing a couple like missions here and there and stuff, and just basically do a lot of quirky shit,
Ooh, yeah, that I was just thinking, like, what's that the mode in like Super Smash Bros. Melee where it's just like a bunch of different like levels and like different things you do.
The event mode.
Event mode. Like something like that would be super cool. Like they have the 1 versus 100 mode. That's all right. Like, but yeah, if they have like an event mode like that, like 50 different type of things you can do, then that's something like that. Like, might not be. It's not a huge thing, but that would make that'd make something to do after you beat the Grand Prix mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of wish they had like a single player aspect to. Say having a tournament mode where you had the different types of match types, like tag team and like fucking gauntlet, and then maybe a battle royal. That would have fleshed it out too. Now that I think about it, because you're basically doing a bunch of one-on-one matches. Why not have something a little bit more fire to it, and then just add like a tag team single player tournament, or like have like tag team championships and have like different types of other types of things. Yeah, kind of model it after professional wrestling in that aspect.
Yeah, like a Grand Prix 2v2 mode or something like that. Yeah.
Have its own equivalent of G1.
yeah. It's the G1 tournament of
arms.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That actually sounds really cool. I would actually like to play it. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, grand scheme of things, are these going to make a huge world difference? Maybe not, but it's more than what we got now.
Oh, yeah.
So any content in this game, single player wise, would help. And we're a lot. We're talking mostly bad about this game, but yeah, I keep saying it. It's really fun to play. I just wish I had a reason to play it more. So I think that's kind of where I think we're gonna lie on it at the end of the day. I put like 6-7 hours into it. I don't know how much more I'm gonna put into it other than that, but I don't know how much time you put into it, but I imagine we're probably about the same.
It's probably about the same, I think.
Yeah. But should we move on to what else we've been playing? Because we've been playing some other stuff for the last couple of weeks.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and I'll just say one other game I've been playing. And basically it's a big one because I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands now for the past month. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's like it has gotten to the point where I have played the game so much. The game has been enjoyable to the extent where I have earned the Platinum Trophy on it for PlayStation 4. And yeah, that's the thing, man. I never do that for a game unless I liked the game to the extent where, hey, you know what? It's achievable. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to aim for it. So what I basically did through my playthrough of Wildlands, I spent, quote-unquote, 65 hours, went through and I've completed 106 missions. I went through a whole bunch of random grinding. I got every single gun type. I unlocked every single gun part. I have went through to the extent where I have not only explored every single bit of that overworld map, I have also seen both endings to Ghost Recon Wildlands, which, hey, spoilers, there's a good and a bad ending based upon how much you've completed the game. Something that they actually never tell you that, but I end up finding it myself because here's the thing. I got, quote-unquote, the good ending by completing the game naturally at 100%. So when I actually looked up the other ending online, which, hey, I was going to do it anyway. There was no way I was going to repeat the fucking last mission. But, oh, well, let's just say, though, that it just kind of leaves more room for a sequel to this fucking game. Which, you know, there probably is going to be another Wildlands game, considering that it's been Ubisoft's top-selling game for the year, that and For Honor. And, well, let's see. My time with Wildlands, I played about 16 hours worth of multiplayer with people, which basically includes one of my friends, who I was playing with her a bit in terms of her characters, completing missions, completing side missions and stuff. At one point, I encountered... Oh my god. At one point, I was trying to, like, extract one of the head, guys for the influence portion of, oh god, I forgot the fucking criminal gang's name now. Santa Blanca, that's right. This influence, this freaking, church leader guy, whose name's, El Cardinal or something like that. And basically, I had to repeat this mission about 5 to 7 times because one of my teammates, that was one of my friend's friends, pretty much, kept fucking up this one shot over and over again on top of the thing, getting us noticed. It's one of those missions where you have to stealthily sneak in to a certain part of the church, manipulate, this controller, you have to press a certain spot above where the cathedral is at just to try to, cut off electricity or this and that. And from that portion, he runs, gets into a vehicle, and has to go all the way, you basically have to catch him while trying to navigate all these swarms of enemies and do this and do that, It was not a fun mission, I'll just say that right now. But, what I've liked about Wildlands through I'm just going to say my 100% playthrough of the game, I've liked how many approaches I can take in terms of navigating and infiltrating certain places. I do feel that a lot of the missions repeat themselves. And I do think that collecting certain weapons and having certain customization options are a welcome addition. There is a lot to do in this game. You don't necessarily have to complete this game 100% in order to enjoy it. I, on the other hand, after going through the game for this long, I enjoyed it to the extent where, like I said before, I unlocked every gun, got through almost every type of paint stuff. But, yeah, you know what? That final mission, and I'm going to ask you this right now, Tyler. Do you even have any remote interest in playing Wildlands?
No.
Okay, good. Good. So, for any of the listeners who are interested in playing Wildlands, or probably are going to be playing, or maybe probably you are playing it currently. Yeah, I kind of messed up a bit, but oh, sue me. I'm going to say this right now. The last mission for Ghost Recon Wildlands involves you basically having to race to this head this head mansion thing of the boss El Sueño, who's the head leader of this drug lord, right? And so basically what I did is I took a helicopter with me to that checkpoint, accidentally, mind you. And so basically after I found out a little bits after visiting with the lady that basically assigns me missions and stuff like that, I had 10 minutes to go all the way while another faction turns on you, right? The rebels that basically you've been helping the entire game pretty much turns on you, and you have 10 minutes to go from that point all the way up to the cathedral. So what did I do? I basically broke the game by taking my helicopter, flying all the way to that cathedral, that big old monument, El Sueño's headquarters, that monument. And I literally got hit with a mortar exactly as I'm flying over. And on my first time, the helicopter landed in such a way, it landed me right to his front door, and I ended up finishing the mission. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's cool.
Dude, after all the frustrating moments I've had with this game, literally failing missions because of bullshit, having helicopters slide to the fucking lake where I could not even access them, helicopter things, like breaking in front of tree things. That last glitch, not like a glitch. It wasn't a glitch. It was actually in-game thing. Where that happened, it literally had me like, oh my fucking god, that was awesome right there. And, yeah, you know what? A lot of the missions in that game, they were alright, but, if you ask me if I'm even remotely interested in playing the DLC content for Wildlands at all, no. Absolutely not. It's not because the game is bad. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think it's a pretty good game. Not at $60. To be perfectly honest, I think the price that it's selling for online right now, about $40, is an adequate price point because it provides you with a lot of content. There's a lot of subsidiary side missions where you don't necessarily have to go through if you really just want to go through the main game. Like other co-op games, like, say, Borderlands, Destiny, it is definitely the type of game where it benefits from you having a bunch of friends with you that know what they're doing. Because if you're playing a single-player thing by yourself, I mean, you're given, like, 3 other AI people in order to help you, but there were literally times when my AI partners would get glitched to the extent where they couldn't come to me and revive me in time, and I'm like, oh, fucking god. That happened to me once. And it stuck with me too, because every time that I would die, and I'll just put it this way: you're not supposed to be a super soldier in this type of scenario. How this is supposed to be modeled after is a squad of 4 military guys, where you're basically a little bit more vulnerable playing these type of games, because it's supposed to be more elements of strategy stealth. You know, you're not supposed to be this huge, powerful, like, military dude just going doing this and doing that and stuff. So I kept dying routinely because I would try to run and gun certain things, because I would actually get kind of pissed off and, like, just do this and do that.
Oh, yeah.
Not the smartest thing, mind you, but, you know, just a natural response after, like, repeating certain missions for, like, an hour or something like that.
It's one of those things you gotta put the game down because you're getting worse the more you play that part over again.
Exactly. So, like I said, you know, I got a good solid month out of Wildlands. I enjoyed a lot of what I played, and I feel that it is a good game. I only would recommend this to people who love military games, that want something different to play with their friends, and honestly, I would not recommend it to anybody that likes... Yeah, I would not recommend it to anybody who hates stealth games. At all.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the game, but my own personal experience, I don't do stealth too often, and even though I did get progressively better as I'm going through it, I got to the point where I just did not want to infiltrate missions, and I basically used my drone to scout out everything, and I was just basically shooting off mortars and doing a lot of different types of stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Watch Dogs, where it's like at the beginning you try to be stealthy and smart about it, and then you get so you're like your skill tree gets so souped up and your weapons get so good that it's just like, yeah, I could just kind of do these things and take everybody out before I even walk in the door.
Well, yeah, exactly. I love all those options in doing so, but in doing so, it makes the game easy. It makes the game so easy to the extent where it starts to get kind of boring at the end of it, especially during the last resource missions, where you basically had to do one of 3 things: stop a convoy, steal a plane, or steal a helicopter. And basically, I had to do that in order to get enough resources to max out all of my inventory for each of one of my stats. I had about 6 stats, 6 categories in order for me to fill out like branches, like for physical, for items, for drone stuff, for weapon stuff. And one of the last things that I actually tackled out early by mistake, I maxed out each and every rebel skill. So basically, inside that game, I had to go forth, complete some rebel missions, which would have me doing like one of 5 different types of missions in order to, side missions, in order to like increase how powerful I could, like, say, summon a weapon. Like not a weapon, but I could summon a vehicle or something. I could summon a helicopter. But the bad part about it is it's just a transportation helicopter. There's no fucking guns on it at all. Meaning, if you had to try to avoid mortar fire or try to attack certain air vehicles Which, hey, you could possibly do that quite a few times while navigating in the air. Oh my gosh. I basically got to a point where, hey, I would transfer here and there, but every time I stole, like, say, a Unidad or, like, a Santa Blanca helicopter, I would just use the missile fire and not just summon anything. But I would say this. The most annoying thing about Wildlands was trying to avoid mortar fire. I mean, Jesus Christ, mortar fire was probably one of the most common things I kept coming into. Every time I try to go to a specific area, I end up discovering some silo or something like that would be firing off mortars and stuff, and I would get hit routinely. I'm like, fuck! I'm trying to get I'm trying to get to another mission. I'm not even trying to even remotely fly over it. I got creative and started getting lower to the ground. And that last mission where I literally got hit by a fucking mortar as I'm going down to the monument, I'm like, oh my god, no. I literally had that moment, and all of a sudden crashing the front door of Sueño was probably the fucking funniest thing I could possibly remember. It was like, hey, you balanced out.
Yeah, I say it's karma. It comes back in the end. It worked out in your favor in the end.
Well, you know what, man? At least I did have a fun time playing the game, and I had a lot of funny moments, like the random YouTube videos I kept uploading to the PSN things I kept uploading to Facebook, where I literally kidnapped like about 7 Santa Blanca killers and stuffed them in the vehicle, like lit them up for fucking like C4 like mines. That was funny as shit, I gotta admit. But having the helicopters slide to and from this, and it's like, well, I'm just repeating myself, but yeah, that's basically all I've been playing. Yeah,
that's cool though. I mean, it's glad to, it's always, whoa, we got fireworks going on in my block right now, so they're still going on right now. So, oh yeah, they're still going.
Well, they're definitely having a 7 firework salute and stuff for my completion of Wildlands. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, in celebration of platinum, you can't get any more American than that. Shooting off fireworks for Ghost Recon Wildlands. No, I mean, that's cool though. It's always fun. Well, goddamn, we're still going, huh? But, anyways, it's cool when you get sucked into a game like that. It's been a little while since, I've had that, been a few months anyways, with, Zelda Horizon.
Well,
shit.
Yeah, of course, man. It's like, I kid you not, I would have never thought I would have been getting into a game of that type.
Yeah.
Unless a friend wouldn't have recommended me that,
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird.
And definitely for, we've been doing the show for over 4 years now, and it's like, when you told me you were picking that game up, I'm like, really? Wildlands? Okay.
My friend wanted to play with me, and she's like, hey, Gabe, get Wildlands and stuff. Let's play together, in which we did,
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's cool, though. I'm glad you ended up really liking it. Obviously, enough to get the platinum and playing it for a month. But for me, I've just been playing I haven't gotten too crazy with it. I haven't really got dedicated anything for game-wise for a little while now. I've been mainly just playing Bulletstorm full clip edition. And it was on sale, Best Buy had a sale, it was $15, so I went and just bought it. Really like the game. I talked about it a while back when they first announced it, that I was pretty excited about this game coming out. Not enough, obviously, to buy it right away. It was $40 when it launched, but I knew I was going to play it eventually. But it's Bulletstorm is a game from 2011, I want to say. Made by People Can Fly. I think at the time they were kind of a part of Epic that made Gears of War. So it looks a lot like a Gears of War game. Kind of like the characters do, kind of big, oversized guys. Gameplay, the art style looks kind of like a combination of Gears and Borderlands, which is kind of funny now because it's owned by Gearbox, who makes Borderlands. So it's kind of weird how that turns out. But they went ahead and remade, up-resed it and everything at 60 frames per second. I watched some kind of comparison shots from the version on 360 to Xbox One, and it definitely looks a lot nicer. I mean, it's not like this isn't gonna blow you away from a graphics perspective. It wasn't a graphics juggernaut back in 2011 or anything, but That's not why you're gonna play this game. It's definitely more of a cartoony kind of style. But kind of the core concept of this game is that, like I said, it's first person Gears of War. But the main thing is you have a leash they can use, and you can like pull, you can like run out, you can like push it out, and you can pull enemies towards you, and then like it's like they'll have like a slow-mo thing when they'll come at you, and you can like kick them, or you can actually like you can just pull them towards you, and like you can fling them off edges, or it's kind of all about skill shots and like doing like cool combinations with things, and like so like you use it and you'll kick them into like, so there's like giant cactuses, and you can like pull them towards you in the combination and then kick them towards the cactus, and you'll get like you get 100 points, and you earn these points to unlock weapon charges for your weapons, do like special attacks for your weapons, or increase the amount of ammo you can keep on your weapon. And that's kind of like the core concept. Like it's every like it's all like set pieces. Like it doesn't make any real sense. Like the story is dumb. You can't really take it too seriously. It's just the whole entire game is built on puns and dumb kind of like poop joke kind of stuff. Like this definitely feels like a game made for like me when I was a teenager. A lot of dick jokes and poop jokes. And, I mean, there's definitely some funny, like for the most part, it's just like, okay, whatever. But there's actually been a few spots where like I've actually audibly laughed out loud playing this game. Like one part where this girl like says, "I'm gonna shoot your dick off," and it just turns into like a whole conversation about how that works and like why would you do that. And it's just kind of like that's basically the whole game is just like stupid. Like the dialogue is probably one of my favorite parts of the game. For the most part, outside of the gameplay is pretty fun, and it's just like like I said, every single thing is just like you go into a room and you're like, okay, well there's gonna be guys coming. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kick them into that. I can fling them off the edge over here, and like you go into it and you play the game enough, you get a little bit. You start to see how the game works, and it's never really too surprising. Like there's eventually you'll find like these giant like man-eating like kind of like man-eating plants, I guess. Yeah. And you can like kick them into that. It's like you walk into you introduced to this. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna kick these guys into that. And that's kind of like that's really like it. Like the game, it's a lot better game than I'm making it sound. It's not like this isn't gonna be like some game of the year for 2011, and it wasn't. But if you're looking for a nice budget title, I'm sure you could probably find it regularly under $30. Probably find it $20-$25. And you like that kind of concept with some just over the top characters, it's definitely a fun game to play. Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot back in 2011, and I'm still enjoying it quite a bit right now. I mean, it's not like I think I liked it more thinking about it, going into it, playing again a few weeks ago. I think I liked it more before then, but I'm still having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, it's a fun game. Yeah, that's kind of really what I'm playing. I haven't really got stuck in anything big. I picked up Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I beat the first, I guess, world or whatever you want to call it, and the original Crash Bandicoot. And that's kind of what I done with it. I just picked it up today. Played it for a little bit this afternoon before we hopped onto this. Playing that a lot more. Big fan of Warped back in the day. It's kind of fun going back and playing. I never played the original Crash Bandicoot, I don't think. And I played a little bit of Return to Cortex, so I'm kind of interested to see those. And then obviously jump into Warped and see how that holds up, because I really liked Warped back in the day.
Right.
It's just fun. It's $40. Kind of you don't get a lot of like really good platformers these days anymore. So.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'm gonna be playing for the next week or so. Is fairly close to finishing Bulletstorm, probably 3/4 of the way done with that, and play more Crash Bandicoot. That's probably gonna be my week for that. But you been playing anything else?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, then we can go and jump into our news. Really, only one big thing to talk about at this point. Nintendo with the not so big. It's like the Rabbids in Mario game. It's like the worst kept like secret in video games. Like this is the second worst kept secret in video games. Nintendo announced the SNES Classic is coming out. It's coming out September 29th. It's going to be $80. And it comes with 21 games. I'm going to read off the games really quick. I actually have them right here. Let me pull them up real quick. All right, so Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Zelda Link to the Past, F-Zero, Super Metroid, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition, Super Punch-Out, Castlevania 4, Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man X, Kirby Superstars. It's got 3 games in one, I believe. Final Fantasy 3, Kirby's Dream Course, which is the golfing Kirby game, Star Fox, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario RPG, Contra 3, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, Super Ghouls and Goblins, and then last but certainly not least, or possibly least, no one's played it, Star Fox 2. So those are the 21 games coming to you. Like I said, $80, September 29th. Pre-orders are out pretty much everywhere but the United States. I guess there's a rumor that it might have to be with FCC hasn't, I guess, confirmed it or approved it yet to be out for sale. But I imagine pre-orders are coming up soon. I am curious, like, how excited are you for this? If you can get one, are you gonna get one?
Well, no doubt about it, I have to get one because there is one game on that list that I have been harped about for years, and that has been Star Fox 2. I have a little brother. He has autism. He keeps seeing footage of Star Fox 2 from ROMs and stuff from like that whole thing that surfaced around 2009, 2010 where somebody ripped a ROM of like Star Fox 2, uploaded onto the internet.
Yeah.
He watches YouTube routinely. He's been asking for Star Fox 2, this game that never came out any time at all in Nintendo's history, that was scrapped, 90% done.
Actually, was confirmed this week. It was 100% done.
It was 100% done. Yeah, that game was actually done, and they never released the fucking game until, well, now it's going to be released to 2017, which that technically, honestly, makes it an official release in 2017.
It does. So this could be your Earthbound beginnings of 2017.
Which that would be fucking funny as hell if I could actually
game.
get... Yeah, so actually having the course of, like, say, having Star Fox 2... to present to him after so many years of asking for that thing, that would actually be friggin' funny. That would actually be pretty fun, just to have that out of the way. But here is my reaction to that. When I was on my lunch break at work, during the time that I actually discovered on Twitter that Nintendo was going to release that, I was angry. I kid you not. I was legitimately starting to get angry. Why? Not because of the quality of games on it, not because the Super Nintendo is probably one of my favorite systems, but because of one lingering, little tiny fact. This is going to be fucking sold at an inflated price online, and I'm not going to have a chance to buy the son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's going to be super hard to find.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nintendo has went on record later on during last week where they have said that they are substantially going to increase the amount that they are going to be releasing only for this year. Now, for that case in mind, I would say, how substantial is this going to be? Are they just going to have, like, maybe one other, like, unit or some add-on to this? So instead of, like, putting maybe 2 units or something to a retailer, they'll probably have it 3, which would count being substantially more, considering that they only released, like, 150,000 in all across the U.S.? But, other than that, though, the games, good quality games. I definitely like the idea that they have games like, say, the quintessential ones, like A Link to the Past, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World, and most notably Final Fantasy III. I mean, for God's sakes, that's probably one of the best Super Nintendo games you could possibly put on there.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about before. The NES wasn't my thing. NES Classic, wasn't really like I'm happy that's a thing. It's bullshit to me that the way Nintendo handled it, they bungled that whole entire thing. I think that's, whether you agree with it or not, it's fact. They fucked that up. first off, by not taking pre-orders and not realizing how big the thing this was going to be, and they did know it was going to be a big deal, and they didn't make as many as they should have.
Right.
And they obviously gave up on it too soon. I think they could probably still win another year with this and try to sell it in 2017 for the rest of the year, and still sold really, really well. And maybe give us an SNES Classic in 2018. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's better. It's probably not going to be. I don't think anybody has faith in Nintendo, because that's Nintendo's MO with things, where it's like, keeping things scarce, making it looked at with Amiibo, the way the Wii was after a while. I understand that with the first year of the Wii, Nintendo didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming as big a phenomenon it was going to be, but they kept that thing scarce for a while, longer than they probably really had to. And they've been doing a little bit with the Switch. I know the Switch are having issues keeping it in stock, but it just so happens that thing always has a bunch in stock right around when a new game comes out. And maybe that's part of on the companies that are selling it, Best Buy, Walmart, whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be irritated with Nintendo for a third time this calendar year, here comes the SNES Classic, I guess. We're trying to buy something you can't buy. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing that's happening, and I'm happy for the people that really want it, that get it. I feel bad for the people that do really want it, that can't get it, and there's going to be those people out there that's going to scalp it. You already see it out there right now. People are putting on eBay and stuff for guaranteed pre-order, $300, $400, $500. I actually got lucky, and so they, like I said, they did pre-orders for basically everywhere except for the United States, and I got lucky and I pre-ordered one from Amazon UK. So I got the Super Famicom coming, and I actually got it for a few dollars cheaper, like I think what's their not translation, what's the anyways, basically the euro amount comes out to like $77 with shipping and everything. So I'll save a few bucks on that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I won't get it until like October 10th or something. I have to wait a while, which whatever. And if I see one and I could pre-order one, I'll pre-order one for you, Gables.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I see one, that's fine. I'd be more than happy to do that for you, especially if I'm trying to get it for your brother.
I'll
do my best.
Do that, dude.
No, it's fine. I'll be more than happy to help you guys get one. If I can help, if someone that really, really wants it, I know you do, and someone like Justin really, really wants it, if I could see it out there and I could pre-order one and make sure you guys get it, I'd be more than happy to do it. So, yeah, if I see one on like Twitter, I follow a bunch of people on Twitter and stuff like that, like in stock, like get it now, like Cheap Ass Gamer and a couple of Nintendo things on Twitter, like tell you when it's in stock. If I see one, I'll try to I'll do what I can. We'll do what I can to get you one. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I'm happy. I mean, the list of games. Personally, I feel like there's a couple missing off that list that should be there.
Yes.
Case in point, and there's a couple of these I understand, like NBA Jam and NHL '94, that I'd love to see there personally, but I understand maybe from a getting those is a little more to it, because you're not just talking like, this is just not just EA, but you're also talking about big organizations like NBA and NHL, where it's not just like these are a licensed product from another company, a third party company. So a lot more to it than just getting like a Final Fantasy 3 or Secret of Mana or something like that. But other games I'd love to see on it. Personally, Beavis and Butthead, I think it'd be awesome. I know it's not. I know it's probably not an SNES Classic to most people, but I think I really enjoy that game. And I think a big ones that are missing from Nintendo first party are Donkey Kong Country 2. Definitely the big one to me, and I've heard a lot of people mention, like, if you could put one on there, that's one of the key ones I'm hearing. Donkey Kong Country 3 probably should be on there. I never really played it, but I know it's probably a popular one. And then the Mortal Kombat games. Like, none of those are coming to this thing. Like, I think that's just kind of weird. I think, I don't understand. I feel like the NES Classic had 30 games. I don't see why this one can't have 30 games on it. It's not like these games.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
They're literally just ROMs they're putting on a chip. Like, that's what they are. That's what the NES Classic was. It's just ROMs.
They're
like,
just updated, up-res ROMs and stuff they're putting on this device.
Yeah, so it's not like we're putting like a super amount of work into this. I feel like they could easily put 4 to 9 more games in this thing and make it 25 games or 30 games. And I feel like there's definitely enough out there that you could probably do, just even in-house first-party games that they can do. Like I said, Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. Is there anything on this list that you think that's not on there that should be on there?
One of the personal games I would like to see would be like Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah,
because that is probably one of the best games of the Super Nintendo, bar none. To like a bunch of the other great games that were on that system.
Yeah.
Because you have Final Fantasy III on there, which that's considered one of the best games on that system as well. But yet not having Chrono Trigger at all. Is it because of Square Enix? Is it because of other type of things? I mean, that's kind of a quintessential thing to have on your system.
yeah. I mean, it can't really be a Square Enix thing because they're putting Final Fantasy 3 on there, and I understand Final Fantasy is more important than 2017 and Chrono Trigger is, but
I know, and Chrono Trigger's been out on the DS, and it's also been out, like, say, on the Wii's Virtual Console as well. I wonder what the fuck is going on with that. You know, it's like,
I didn't know. That's weird to me.
They have one Square Enix game on there, and that's Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah,
but what the hell did they do? They just like had like just that and stuff, and like they couldn't afford to get Chrono Trigger on there. I mean, come on, substitute like a game or something that doesn't need to be on there, like say Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah,
you know, that's just something that's. I
just
don't understand it.
I agree with that. I mean, I can see that. And I'm wondering, like, you look at like the list that they have there. It's just like all of the like Street Fighter, Mario, Kirby, Final Fantasy. All those games are big names, are well-known names in gaming today. So I wonder if a lot of that has to do with the fact it's like you love these games now in 2017 or 16 or 15 or whatever. Play these games from the mid 90s. You'll love these too. And I wonder if that's obviously I think a selling point, and I wonder if that's the key factor as to why that those like Chrono Trigger isn't on there. Maybe some sort of games that maybe didn't quite make the list.
Well, I know that may be the point too and stuff. It's like all those games that are on that system, every single one of those games, maybe barring one or two of them, are like fantastic games. You know, I've personally played through at least all except for like maybe 2 or 3 of them. You know, and it's like you're getting some quality games when you're going through there. If you're literally somebody that manages to get like an SNES Classic and you've never played those games before, it's like that's like opening up like a holy grail that you've never actually had a chance to experience. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, especially, and it does a lot now where like, I know you can get ROMs and all that. I mean, it's super easy to play these games now. Most of them, obviously, Star Fox 2, you're not gonna get that's the only way you're gonna play that game. But I think it does a lot for like if you are someone that likes to play these older games and you want to play like the original version of them, or not maybe that's so much, but you want to play these games the way they're meant to be. I think this is the closest you can get it without paying crazy eBay prices. You know what I mean? If you can get one, you know, you're not playing. Some of these games I know I heard like Earthbound is like damn near $100 for a cartridge of that today on eBay.
Oh yeah.
So now you can get you can get that and 20 other games for $80 if you can find the damn thing.
That's a fucking steal for $80.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's why I don't understand why Nintendo doesn't make more of these. Or like, I mean, I know they can. Like, maybe they can't give you 1 million at launch, but they can keep pushing these things for a lot longer than just a few months. You know?
Oh yeah,
like,
and the major
people want to give you, like they want to give you money, like
yes,
and like there's people out there that want to give you money. Like, let us give you our money. You know what I mean? Like,
Tyler,
go ahead.
You know what I think this all stems to is because they delayed their online portion for their Switch until 2018. I feel that the reasoning that they've done the NES Classic and now the Super Nintendo Classic, the reason why they're probably going to have it for just those calendar years and stuff is because they're probably shaping up their Virtual Console, and that's probably the only reason why they're doing this for such a short amount of time.
That's a good point. Yeah, I can see that, and that's why they maybe didn't say anything at E3 about the Virtual Console. It's like it ain't coming this year, and then maybe they're like, they always have a big Nintendo Direct in January. Maybe in January they do like Virtual Console coming to Switch this March or whatever.
It makes sense.
Yeah, Star Fox 2 is one of the big games. I could see Star Fox 2 being one of the big first marquee games coming to Virtual Console. I really can.
Yep.
I feel like
it's like, you didn't get it like on the freaking Super Nintendo like classic stuff. Hey, here you go for the Nintendo Switch. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I feel like at the very least they should do that. Like, you obviously have it done. It's out there now for people to play on the SNES Classic. Only a few 100,000 people that actually want to play it can play it. Like, put it on the Switch. You know what I mean? That's another selling point for that game.
Could you just imagine just like playing like the Super Nintendo games on the go like that?
Yeah.
Like on a bigger screen, not having to be jarred by the fucking new 3DS shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, that's a big selling point, I think, to even more now so than ever. Like,
Yep.
3DS Virtual Console is cool, but they never really went full bore with it. And yeah. So, definitely, if they can see... I mean, it's almost 50-50 with Nintendo. It's like, the obvious thing is just release Star Fox 2 on the Virtual Console.
Yes.
But it's almost too obvious where it's like, Nintendo probably not going to do that because that's the easy thing to do. And Nintendo doesn't like to do the easy thing all the time. So...
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah. So that's why we hate / love Nintendo. We praise them for the smart making the smart move too often, I think. It's like, here's the obvious answer, 2 + 2. And sometimes it's like, well, we're going to make it 5. Well, no, it's 4. No, we're going to do 5. No, don't do that. And then every now and again, yeah, it's 4. You're the best, Nintendo. You're the fucking best. Good for you. You guys are amazing. Sorry, I went on a rant there about Nintendo. But that's why I hate / love them. But anyways, you know what? Like I said, that's really the one big news thing they had this week. So we've had this week, the last couple weeks, really. So I think that might wrap up the show for the week. It's good to be back, as always. But in case you guys forgotten, you haven't joined us in these places yet, there's always more places to talk to us at on Facebook, Drunk-Nerds. So like and join us on there. Ooh, it's been too long. On Twitter, we are at Drunk Nerds Pod. So follow us on there. On YouTube, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe to us on there. Podcast goes up on there too, so you can always like those videos as well. It'd be great. More people can see it. And also on iTunes, we're on there. So give us a 5-star review. Write a nice little review too if you can. The more 5-star reviews and written reviews we get, the more people that can see us on there as well. So that always gives us a nice little boost. And then also on Twitch, Drunk Nerds Podcast. We're on there. We did some streaming a few weeks ago, playing Overwatch. Do some more streaming down the line here too. So once again, or you can follow us on there. So once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Good to be back. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, play hard, work even harder, and you know what? Have yourself a fantastic week.
Yeah, happy 4th of July to you Americans, and happy Canadian Day to you fucking Canadians out there. Goddamn Tim Hortons and poutine. Lucky bastards.
Toodle bye, everyone.
Yeah, toodle bye. Yeah, we got fucking Chinese fireworks, and they get fucking poutine. Bullshit's that.
Time for some Roman candles.
Yeah. Goddamn bullshit. Fucking America.
Okay, now we're out.
Bye, guys. Excuse me. A few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.